You know, some places have a story that's just so much bigger than the bricks and mortar they're built from. Today, we're diving into one of those places, Powys House, and its amazing journey from a very secluded private estate into the real, beating heart of a whole community.
So, if you were to go to Sidmouth today, you could just walk right through these absolutely stunning gardens. And they feel like they've always been there for everyone, right? But for the first half of the 20th century, this was a completely private world, hidden away behind closed gates. So, how on earth did this private sanctuary become such a public treasure?
Well, the story really kicks off at the turn of the 20th century. It turns out Powys House became a pretty popular retirement spot for a very specific type of person, the wealthy London professional looking for a quiet place to get away from it all.
Now, check this out, because this is where a real pattern starts to emerge. The first two owners, a Henry Cox Wilkin and a Bilton Pollard, were practically mirror images of each other. Get this, both were surgeons from London, both showed up around age 60 to retire, and, this is the crucial part, neither seems to have had any involvement with the local Sidmouth community whatsoever. For them, Powys was just an escape, not really a home.
Okay, so after Pollard's pretty short stay, the house enters this new, much quieter phase. Around 1920, John and Minnie Wallace take over. And while the house stayed intensely private, something was definitely starting to shift, even if it was subtle.
To really get a picture of John Wallace, you have to understand this term. In the census, he listed his profession simply as gentleman. And what that tells us is that he was a man of inherited wealth. He didn't need to work. And that status allowed him and his wife to live a very secluded life there at Powys.
And boy, were they there for a long time. John actually passed away only a few years after they moved in, but Minnie Wallace stayed on, living as a widow at Powys for nearly a quarter of a century. I mean, for decades, the house was just the quiet home of this wealthy, reclusive widow.
So let's just pause for a second. We're talking almost 50 years that Powys House was basically a footnote in the town, a private residence totally disconnected from the community it was in. It really makes you wonder, when was this place finally going to find its true purpose? Well, the answer came with its very next owner.
In 1945, the story just takes this massive, dramatic turn. The gates of Powys House opened to a new owner, Miss Evelyn Watson. And she was a woman who wouldn't just live in the house, she would fundamentally change its destiny forever.
And here she is. This is Miss Watson on the terrace of her beloved Powys. And see, unlike every owner before her, she wasn't looking for a place to hide from the world. She was looking for a place to really engage with it.
And she was so committed. I mean, she didn't just stay for a few years. She lived at Powys House for over 3 decades. This wasn't some retirement home for her. This was her life's project.
And this is the key point right here. Evelyn Watson was the complete opposite of her predecessors. She just threw herself into Sidmouth life. She was a leader at the local hospital, she was president of the British Legion's women's section, and she even co-founded the Horticultural Society. Plus, she was constantly opening up her magnificent gardens to raise money for charity. Powys was no longer a fortress, it was fast becoming a community hub.
You know, her involvement with the community wasn't just some pastime. It was actually the foundation for her greatest gift to the town. A legacy that would make sure Powys served the public for generations and generations to come.
See, her real passion, her true passion, was gardening. She poured her heart and soul into the grounds, completely transforming them from just a simple private garden into a genuine botanical collection. She introduced so many of the trees and flowers that are still there today.
So when you look at these gardens now, you're not just seeing a pretty park. No way. You are looking at the direct result of 30 years of one woman's vision, her care, and her dedication. This is her living memorial. And then came her final and I think most incredible act. When she passed away in 1979, Evelyn Watson didn't sell the estate. She gave it away. In her will, she bequeathed the entire house and its spectacular gardens to the town council, with the specific instruction that it be used for the benefit of the public forever. Which really leaves us with this final thought, doesn't it? For 50 years, Powys House belonged to a series of private individuals on paper, but it took just one person over 30 years to truly give it to everyone. It makes you ask the question, what really makes a place belong to a community? Is it the name on the deed, or is it the people it serves?